Hello, Powerhouse Smart friends and colleagues. Wendy Cohen here. Again, my favorite day of the week. Wednesday is Podcast Wednesday, where I get to select an incredible human being. And in this case, Robert Chickey is our guest today from my intimate sphere of influence, my network. And I do that so that I can share with all of you who are watching this podcast, some of the coolest leaders in the industry, some of the neat things that they're doing, how they live with an attitude of gratitude, and of course, giving back to help not only our industry, but just humanity in general. So that's kind of the three little pillars under the Powerhouse Cool Collabs umbrella. And it's short, it's commutable, but I always just walk away in awe because I have some incredible people like Robert today that I hope are going to give you some golden nuggets that may change your life. So without further ado, I love it when my guests get to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about their story, and then we'll engage in a beautiful conversation. So Robert, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much, Wendy.
Great. Let's hear all about you. I'm so excited.
So my name is Robert Chickey, and my company is called Bespoke Finish. And I started Bespoke Finish. It's kind of my second company. I was a contractor for 22 years, working all over the United States primarily. Had 14 employees. Got hurt, transitioned here to more of a consulting role. And I started Bespoke Finish to solve problems for architects and designers, primarily based on surface finishes, mostly wood. And I know that my skill set really aligns with what designers and architects want and need, but what's in the marketplace today doesn't really allow them to do that. And so with Bespoke Finish, if I'm engaged early enough, I can help you realize your vision completely. I make X. You don't guess. There's no settling. You get absolutely what you imagined. And I do that through a complete process that I can give to your finisher so that you can work with them and deliver X. And occasionally we'll take on projects ourselves if they're hard enough. I mean, I want to really be challenged. I mean, I want to be really challenged. Then I'm interested. And I say this to my clients that engage me, and it's two things. A, I'm going to educate you to what's possible. And when I deliver this, you can't unsee it. So you're going to be ruined almost forever when you see what's actually possible. Because most, in my opinion, really don't know. And that's pretty much the basis of my company. So we have that. We have products that we've developed that facilitate allowing us to get to X across a variety of surfaces. And everything that we have is exterior rated, which is not, I don't know that it even exists today in the market.
Wow. All right. Before you go too far, I want to make sure we dive into some of those really cool projects where you were able to really make an impact. And I don't know anybody else who's doing this, so I love that you found the space that really needed to be. We needed solutions, and you're providing them. And I love the name Bespoke. Bespoke. That's really great.
Thank you.
Yeah. So first and foremost, you're an educator, you're a consultant, you're using your years of wisdom, and I know it's with wood finishes and surfaces. So can you please explain? You said that you come in and you educate the finisher if a contractor or an architect or a designer or a homeowner is doing a project and they already have a finisher. So you're not coming in and taking up anyone's role. You're there to be the consult, the education. So give me an example of a project where there's already a finisher and you came in and you made like this huge impact, because I want to visualize it and I want everyone to be excited about it.
So we've had several of these projects where the traditional method for working with wood today is that most painters and finishers, designers and architects too, utilize a local paint store to make a color for them, because most people don't know how. A color is nothing but a formula. It's math. It really is.
Mhm.
But you have to understand what you're playing with. So they'll make a sample, a tiny sample, and then they'll go and do a bigger sample on site, and it never matches. It never matches. And so a lot of times they'll just stop and look for solutions. And at times they'll reach out to me. And so I've walked in on projects where traveling, or sometimes just through a Zoom, to kind of get a sense of what it is, to discern who's doing what they're using. And then I will have a conversation with the designer usually. And my approach is more, what do you want to feel when you walk in this room? Not what you want to see. I want you to feel. So, and then I design a system to deliver that, regardless of the wood species. It does not matter. And when we do projects, or when we guide projects, whatever that sample is, you can take that sample anywhere in the space, anywhere, even if it's a different wood species, and it's within 5%.
So the color match.
And it's complete clarity and consistency. This is possible. So the narrative that it's wood, you can't control it, is a false narrative. It really is. So we will go in there and say to the painter or finisher, like, I'm not here to take your job. I'm here to help you keep this job and deliver X to your client. And I ask them leading questions to kind of discern what their skill set is, so that I can develop a process that they can be successful at. Now, sometimes it does happen where they're not a good fit, and you have to be honest with a client that I don't think this is going to work. Now, I've said that a couple of times, and one time, a builder that I was working with said, we think they're great. And I'm like, I'm confused. What do how do you evaluate these people? And this is honest to God truth. He just said, well, they don't have runs. And that was what came out of their mouth. And this was an $8 million house in this town. So, and several years ago. And I told them to not hire these guys, and they did it anyway. And it turned out to be a disaster, but that's on them. So, I mean, I know what I'm talking about, and I know how to evaluate somebody. So, but it's possible to give somebody, here's all the directions, follow A through whatever, and X will happen. And so, and it can open your mind. And if you're willing to listen, and this is a big thing, and because not everybody wants to change. If they're willing to listen and open their mind that there's a different solution than the one they know, you can literally open another world for them.
Yeah.
And your client gets this without paying what I cost, which is, a lot more. Let's just say that.
Yeah, and so Robert, but you had said earlier also, so I just want to make sure I don't miss this part, that you also make some products. So when you're doing your process, I'll use an example, a really good one. As being a past custom home builder, we used to do a tremendous amount of complete cherry libraries. I mean, you name it, Brazilian cherry floors and all the built-ins, box beam ceiling and all the, beadboard and you name it. And, might have been a $50,000 cherry library in
Sure.
Den, for example. And today that isn't necessarily as popular in that color range anymore.
Sure.
So, let's just say you come into the fold in that particular project, and what would the approach be? I know we don't have a lot of time. I'm sure you
Sure.
could tell me way
No
more
problem.
about it if you and I were sitting over a glass of wine or a cup of coffee, and we could do that when I come to Minnesota next time. But tell me in a short overview.
So the biggest issue with wood finishes today are the materials that are being used.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem. Traditional stain, I think this gets a little heady, but it's quick. Traditional stain, the pigments that are in the stain are too big. They're, say, 10 to 25 microns in size. A human hair is 50, so it seems small. This is why you get blotchiness, especially in cherry. Cherry doesn't take these pigments evenly across the surface.
Interesting.
So some people use dye, which is an alternative, but dyes fade. They have no UV resistance. I use these things called micronized pigments, and they're 0.2 microns. So you're talking 5,000 to 12,500% smaller. They go into solution like a dye, but they're a pigment and they won't fade. So you get just incredible saturated colors, if you want them, that are consistent across the entire surface from one side to the next. Zero blotch.
Wow, incredible. So
And then you put a process to that and magic happens.
So when you say a process, you're going to tell my finisher do X steps 1, 2, 3, and 4, and here's where to buy the products that you need, or do you supply this special?
So we will supply the micronized pigments, but we give them a list of all the products we use, and we will source it for them because they may not have access to them. I do. Here's all the people. Here's all the products. Here's their numbers, direct numbers that'll, I mean, I will give you numbers that you would probably kill to have, just so that you can get these products quickly.
Wonderful. What a great resource you are. No wonder you're traveling all over the world. I know you're located in Minnesota and you have a team of people. So, and you know, you're so scientific and a matter of fact guy. And me, I'm kind of like hugging everyone and all about the love and the gratitude, and I love that what you're doing. No, I know no one who's doing that, and if I did know of someone who is doing it, you're in my family and my powerhouse sphere of influence, and I love that you could help all the builders, the architects, interior designers, everyone in our industry. Do you do inside paint finishes and outside? I think I heard you say outside earlier.
So we do. I don't traditionally do paint. It doesn't inspire me. Paint is prep. I mean, it is. But I can help you get a color that you want because, again, I understand color at a very high level. So I can make whatever. I mean, any color you want, paint, stain, on pretty much any surface is absolutely possible. It's math at its core. So, and yes, I do tend at times to get a little nerdy scientific, which is, I acknowledge, but it's kind of important to open people's minds that there is other. But the other side of this too is that since I've had this second company, I've also had the ability to mentor a lot of people that minds I've opened. And as part of products that we sell, we've built a network. And everybody that comes in the network, the premise is this. If you have the open mind to hear what I have to say, because not everybody does. So a lot of people are just comfortable being comfortable. I'm comfortable being uncomfortable. And that matters. It's because you can't grow if you're comfortable. It doesn't work that way.
Yes.
So everybody that comes in our network, is your responsibility is to pay it forward because I'm giving you knowledge you may never encounter in your entire working career. And this is your responsibility for when you're at my age or status, so to speak, to take young minds and open them and share with. I mean, I have seen lives literally changed. It's been profound to watch. Watch the light bulb go off. When people see their value, when they understand it, they're no longer, they're literally transformed.
Yeah. Yeah. You're
is
speaking my
powerful.
language, babe. I want to hug you right now, Robert. This is exactly what I try to do every day. So tell me more. Tell me, where are these? Where's this network? How can people get involved in it? There's going to be links down below to get to know Robert, and I wish we
So
had more. Yeah, go ahead.
there's a few. So we have one of the products we sell is called Vero Metal, and it's liquid metal, and it's literally just it's actually metal, and you can spray it with a cup gun onto any substrate. And then because there's a binder involved, it looks like paint when it's cured, but then you can polish it to a mirror if you want and put it outside and never touch it again. I mean, you could put it on anything, doors, windows, furniture, walls. I mean, it's
Crazy.
endless. It's endless. So people that come in there, people take training to learn how to do this because there's definitely a learning curve. And so we set up this kind of group on Facebook initially so that people would have a place to ask questions because I mean they were calling me relentlessly and I couldn't get anything done. And so that was what I started. But it became very apparent that I had an opportunity to mentor
Hmm.
because they had open minds. And so I have really taken young finishers because I mean I've I've been through a lot in my career, personally and professionally. And so I see it in them. And
Hmm.
so and I didn't have a mentor to learn from. I figured it out myself. I mean, no internet. I mean, that didn't exist. So it was a long journey to get the knowledge that I have, but that doesn't mean that you should have to go through that. If you have an open mind and if you have an open heart, and if you're willing, as I said, to mentor others and engage and grow, come in here.
I
I'll teach you things that you'll never that they don't exist in a book.
so
That's one of the paths.
yeah, so Robert, if I could refer you, and if people are finding you on this podcast, will there be a link to either the Facebook, or how should they reach out to you?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So first of all, that's through Vero Model, and there's training involved and there's cost to get in there. But there's another thing that I've done on top of this. So a colleague of mine, in 2023, we started a nonprofit group, and it's called the Finishers Guild. And what it is, it's really based on helping all people involved in craft. It's not finishing, it's like woodworkers, it's cabinetry, it's furniture, it's people who are thinking with their mind and their hands.
Mm.
We're pulling information in here as a storehouse so that it can be a resource for people to have access to. And we have a board of directors now, and we've had two events. The first one was in Nashville in 2023. We did one last year here at our facility in Minnesota, and we're going to do another one this year as well. And then after that, you know, it's going to grow. So, and right now it's invitation only because we're really trying to build a foundation here. And it's a 3-day event, and we share knowledge, and
Wow.
it's
Beautiful.
profound.
Yeah.
What I mean, people are just I mean, they can't even process what you're sharing with them.
That's spectacular. And we do Powerhouse Smart. We have a community in Southern California, Naples, Florida, of course, Illinois and Wisconsin. You were at the Luxury Summit just recently in Chicago, and of course in Minnesota. But I can say right away that this is something we have to share with everyone so they know that you're doing all these amazing things. Number one, for the projects that they have where they have these challenges, and number two, for the young, the young next generation, right? We're all about the next generation. We have to continue to guide them and mentor them and instill these wonderful experiences and wisdom that you have. So we are doing a top 10 next generation leaders. We're selecting top 10 in Minnesota for the Minnesota Luxury Conference on November 4th. So after our podcast here today, I would love to know if you have one of your mentees who has really taken your wisdom and really done beautiful things with it. And maybe we'll recognize that person as one of those top 10. And let's
Okay.
schedule some ways to get your word out there so that, but not only your nonprofit, but your bespoke finishes and everything else that you're doing, because you are a man of my dreams in the sense that you're helping other people and making a difference in the world. And I thank you for your work.
One thing that's really, really important to me is we've made a concerted effort to really engage women. And because the reality is, in construction environment, whether it's design or whatever, if you're a female, you have to work twice as hard to be even seen, which is really irritates me to no end. But so we're really making a concerted effort to gauge women to come in here and support them, help them grow, and really, so the hope is that for young girls and boys too, see the possibility and it's like, hey, I want, because if you don't know it's possible, it doesn't even cross your mind. And that is, it has to be somebody. So like, why not me?
Yeah, yeah, no, absolutely. And, some women and men both are creative individuals. And this is just another new opportunity. And we know that not everybody is going to go to the traditional 4 years of college
Oh,
and, go into the business world. A lot of our next gen leaders are creatives that maybe that isn't necessarily all of that schooling isn't really the path, and the path is this craftsmanship and this kind of schooling and education that you're giving. It's just fabulous. And last year we had someone who went to the conference who had started a construction school out of in Kansas City. I don't know if you got a chance to meet her, but she's still doing tons of things of education within our industry. I'm going to make sure the two of you connect because that's what this is all about. And I bet you there's going to be lots of synergies there. And you know what, Robert? Just again, I'm so thrilled that you're part of PowerHouse Smart, that you're part of my community, and that we get to help you spread the beauty of what you're doing in the world. So thank you so very much for everything.
you're very welcome. I mean, it's like we said, it's important to grow young minds. But one of the things too that we also focus on, because there's lots of people that are not lots, but there are people that are really good at their craft or whatever. And business is a completely different skill set.
Yes.
So part of what we do is teach people business and
Great.
how it relates, like actual business, not most like how to make money, what margin is versus, I mean, all these really important things
Wow.
so that, I mean, you can thrive. Because when you stop, it stops. So no, we're not going to do that. We're going to teach you these things. But and again, you have to want it.
Yes.
I
Yeah.
can't make you want it. I can only engage you to come in here and
Yeah.
see if you
So
want more.
yeah, so I would call that business life skills. So you're teaching business, but it's business life skills, being able to really thrive in a business. So
Right,
great.
right.
All right. So if someone's listening to this podcast and they say, I need to meet and talk to Robert today, how would you tell them to reach out to you?
So I mean, we have on our website, I mean, you can reach out. I get so many emails, so it's like crazy, but you can say info@bespoke-finish.com will be a good way to reach out to me. And then, my staff will send it to me so that um, we can connect because it is important. I mean, I still love projects. I don't have time to do many of them. I want to really be challenged, and it is possible. And I'll just tell you one quick one because I think it was important. We worked on a project in Minnesota, I think it was in 2024 for the Pillsbury Castle, which was a ASID restoration. And the house was built in 1905, and
Mm-hmm.
it had two intact rooms, original finish on this one room. So it was 120, almost 120 years old when we walked in. And the general consensus was it's gone. You have to, strip it off and start over.
Hmm.
And I'm like, you're wrong. No, I can literally called reamalgamate, reliquefy the finish without taking it off, clean it, and add more and put it back together. And we did that. And it's
Wow.
knowledge is, I mean, knowledge is power.
Mm-hmm.
It really, there are things you can learn that can just take you on a path that you decide. But if you don't have the foundation, then you can't, you just have to go with what the flow is, which I don't want to do and have never wanted to do. Sorry,
That's okay. You're doing your own flow, and that's
I
okay.
make my
You're
own
making
path.
making your own impact in the world. Well, I can't wait to see the images from the Pillsbury house. I was not in town to see that, but I heard raving reviews about what the rooms you're talking about. Well, without further ado, we're so pleased and thrilled to be able to share this with our audience. And if you want to meet Robert, he's a PowerHouse Smart member. He'll be at the Minnesota Luxury Conference on November 4th. Otherwise, please see all the different ways you can connect with him. If you have a project for him, it might be one of his team members who reach out to you, because it sure sounds like you're keeping yourself very busy, my dear. And blessings to you. I'm in awe, and I thank you with gratitude for everything that you do every day.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you. Okay, I'm going to hit the stop record. There we go.